there are countries that absolutely despise other countries. So in today's video, we're going to find out why these countries hate each other. Starting things off, we have Turkey and Greece. Turkey and Greece have such a long history of hating each other. It's absolutely insane, and this is mainly because of the Ottoman Empire. If you didn't know, the Ottoman Empire was technically Turkey, and the Ottoman Empire took over Greece for like 400 years. And obviously, since the Ottoman Empire was founded by the Turks, the Greek people absolutely hate them. Next up, we have India and Pakistan. Now, do I really need to explain this? They nearly went to war about 2 months ago. And one of the main reasons they hate each other is the partition of British India. This happened in 1947, and it left them in absolute turmoil. When British India was divided, India became its own state. And then Pakistan was created as a Muslim majority nation. Around 15 million people were displaced, and 1 million people roughly died. This happened from communal riots and massacres. Like, genuinely, it's insane. I actually can't believe what I was reading on my phone when I was reading up on this. Like, it seems unbelievable. Then obviously both countries have nuclear forces, so it's like, oh, whose knob's bigger? We have nukes, let's go, blah, 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 blah. And then sadly, there's been a lot of terror attacks. So obviously, India and Pakistan aren't going to be very good friends. Next up, we have the USA and North Korea. I mean, starting things off with the Korean War, that is obviously going to make both countries absolutely despise each other, because if you didn't know, the USA helped South Korea not lose the war against North Korea, because there was a point where South Korea got pushed back in their own land so much that America had to come in and move out the Chinese and the North Koreans. And in this war, over 2.5 million people died, and the war technically still hasn't ended. It's just a ceasefire or an armistice. And the United States of America still to this day stations 28,000 American soldiers on South Korean soil. This is because they don't trust North Korea and think at any time that North Korea would start this war up again. And then obviously North Korea is a dictatorship and the USA absolutely hates that, but North Koreans have had loads of propaganda against them saying how bad the United States are. I'm pretty sure in some schools they've been taught how bad America is. So obviously these two countries hate each other. Stop what you're doing. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Let's try to get to 1,500 likes in this video. I bet you're wondering, damn, why are you wearing a different shirt? It's because I'm editing the video, yeah, and I forgot to say it. So like the video and subscribe. If you don't do it, you're a waste man. I've not said that word in years. Anyway, back to the video. And now for Argentina and the United Kingdom, and the Falkland Wars is a massive reason for their hatred. The Falkland Islands are a group of islands around 300 miles off the coast of Argentina. But they've been a British overseas territory since 1833, and Argentina did not like this. So we went to war. In 1982, Argentina's military dictatorship tried to take control of the Falkland Islands. But Margaret Thatcher and the UK were not having any of this and sent a full-fledged military force straight for the Falkland Islands. And after about 10 weeks of war, the UK took the islands back, leaving 650 Argentine soldiers dead, and also leaving 255 British troops dead. Argentina were absolutely humiliated, losing the islands in 10 weeks, so this is a massive reason why they hate each other. And let's not mention The Hand of God by Maradona in 1986. If we start talking about that, I'm gonna lose my head. Ukraine and Russia. We know Ukraine was a part of the Soviet Union since 1991, so Russia claims Ukraine as its own. And obviously Ukraine and Russia right now are literally in a war, so they obviously do not like each other in the slightest. If I need to explain this anymore, then you're a bit silly. Israel and Palestine, and like Russia and Ukraine, they are also in a war. This is because Israelis and Palestinians both claim the same land, and now they're in an all-out war for this territory. For the Israelis, they think the land is the ancient land of Israel, whereas for Palestinians, it's their ancestral lands where many Palestinians lived before the creation of Israel in 1948. So these countries are battling it out to have this land. And just like the Russian and Ukraine war, it just needs to end. How that's going to happen though, I have no clue. Afghanistan and the USA. 9/11. Do I need to explain any more? September 11th, 2001, 2 planes hit the World Trade Center, and the USA blamed Al-Qaeda, who were being sheltered by the Taliban government. Also, the Forever War, the longest US war in history, was with Afghanistan, and the conflicts they've had in the past are genuinely just insane. They despise each other. North and South Korea, I don't even need to explain this. The Korean War, I mean, come on, it was one of the biggest wars of its time. South Korea were on the brink of losing losing their entire country if it wasn't for the United States of America. If you haven't seen that animation of where the North Koreans nearly take South Korea's entire territory until the US comes in, you need to watch it because it was so close to losing its entire country. And obviously North Korea is a dictatorship whereas South Korea isn't, which they obviously don't like in South Korea. And I feel like some South Koreans feel very bad for the people that do live in North Korea. I can't speak for them, but I know I would if one of my closest countries next to me was a dictatorship where they're not even allowed to have their own phone. The United States of America and Russia. The two strongest militaries in the world, the countries with the most nukes, and the Cold War, which lasted years. The Cold War lasted from 1947 to 1991. If you don't know what a Cold War is, it's just a lot of tension and not an actual war. It was capitalism versus communism, a free state versus a controlled state, and obviously it's fair to say the US won. There was a nuclear arms race, there was a space race, there was spy wars. There's so much going on with these two countries. It's actually crazy. And I think the worst part of it all, both countries now have so many nuclear forces that it could destroy the world about 10 times over. Then obviously the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991, that made Russia think, oh god, America's got one up on us, and they just really don't get along. And then when Russia saw the USA join NATO, they saw it as a direct threat to its border and influence. And don't even get me started on the 2016 US election. Oh my days. The United Kingdom and Ireland. The United Kingdom and Ireland obviously hate each other for many different reasons. And I bet you're wondering,
Dan, why are you wearing a new shirt?
Well, I literally forgot to record this part where I explain why they hate each other. For 800 years, England and the UK ruled over Ireland. 800 years. And land was taken from native Irish people and given to English and Scottish people as their own land. And the Irish felt like their culture, language, and all-round way of life was being pushed aside for the English and the Scotsmen. Then in 1840, the Great Famine came, leaving over 1 million people dead, and millions had to flee Ireland, and they blamed the UK and the English. They blamed them because they just stood by and watched and didn't actually really intervene with Ireland when they were obviously having this Great Famine. Then fast forward to the 20th century, and obviously Ireland has fought for its own independence, but Northern Ireland decided to stay a part of the UK, which also causes a lot of conflict. And this conflict wasn't pretty. There was bombings, there was terrorism, there was assassinations, there was assassination attempts, political chaos. It all went up in the air. But then peace came in 1998 with the Good Friday Agreement, but to be honest, there is a lot of underlying tensions between the Irish and the British. Whenever a British person goes to Ireland, it's always like people look at them funny and they won't get served that fast in a bar. There's just loads of underlying tensions. It's a long and painful history between the UK and Ireland, and I can honestly make a whole video on it about how crazy the history actually is. If you do want to see that, make sure to leave a like on the video. Serbia and Kosovo. Serbia and Kosovo have one of the most intense modern conflicts in recent times. Serbia and Kosovo have one of the most intense conflicts in Europe. Kosovo was part of Serbia, however the majority of the population living in Kosovo are actually Albanian. And Kosovo declared independence from Serbia in 2008 because they actually felt like they weren't a part of Serbia. But Serbia refused to accept this and still claims Kosovo to be a part of Serbia. However, over 100 countries in the world recognise Kosovo to be its own country. And the Kosovo War in 1998 to 1999 obviously didn't help. 13,000 people were killed during this Kosovo War, and they were majority Albanian. And a lot of the Serbian army and police force were actually accused of war crimes. So these are some of the main reasons why these countries absolutely despise each other. Let's try and get 1,500 likes for a part 2 with brand new countries that hate each other. Oh, and subscribe. One more thing. Bye.